Morning everybody, how you doing? Welcome back to the Spurs Talk Show. I'm Sean Butler. Bugsy Malone is up in front. This is episode 231 of Tottenham Walks. How are ya? I hope you're happy and healthy, doing the things you love with the people that you love doing them with. Please do me a favour, guys, like you always do. Smash the like button for me on the video. Smash the subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell and drop a comment. Let me know your thoughts on today's topic. Guys, it's Saturday. I'm thinking about doing a live stream this afternoon, so keep a lookout for that. But just in case I don't, I do want to talk about a tweet that was dropped by Fabrizio Romano last night. You know, one of his usual repetitive tweets saying basically the same thing he said 7 times regarding Clement Lenglet and the fact that Tottenham and Barcelona are close to agreeing a £5 million deal for the player. What was interesting though, guys, was that he included at the bottom of the tweet some relatively new information. I believe I hadn't seen it before, and that is that Tottenham are looking at 2 other left-footed, left-sided centre-backs. And I didn't think I'd seen that specific information before. So it kind of got me to thinking, well, who could they be? Of all the centre-backs we've been linked with, and my goodness, have there been a lot, who would there be the other 2 left-footed, left-sided centre-backs? It's not going to be Harry Maguire, he's right-footed. It's not going to be Roger Ibanez, he's right-footed. It's not going to be Edmund Tapsoba, right-footed. Victor Nelson, right-footed. Bella Kotchap, right-footed. The vast majority of the players we've been linked with to play in that role are actually right-footed. Now, you know that I personally prefer a balanced back 4 when it comes to the preferred dominant foot. You would hope that every player at this level has some degree of like an ambidextrous competence level, kicking the ball with both feet. But of course they're all going to have one preferred foot or the other. And I personally prefer a left-footed player at the left-sided centre-back spot. So it got me to thinking that if Clement Lenglet at 5 million, despite the fact that I personally don't think he's a good fit for this system, I also take into consideration, as I've mentioned before, that if you've only got, you know, a limited budget, 150 million, 180 million, whatever it's going to be, and you've got 6 or 7 players to buy with it, then unless you want to go 20 million quid across, you know, evenly across the pop, in which case you're not levelling up anywhere, then you have to kind of be economical with some and go bigger with others. And I personally would like Hiroki Ito to be the cheaper left-sided centre-back, who also is left-footed, to be the guy in rotation instead of Clement Lenglet. I think you could get him for maybe 10 million max, I think. Not sure. But even if it is Clement Lenglet, it got me to thinking, who were the left-footed centre-backs that he might be talking about, Romano might be talking about, when it comes to the other 2 that we're looking at? And are one of those 2 going to be the bigger end of the market, like the monster, the statement signing? So I got out my notepad and I looked at the 5 or so names that it could be. And so you've got Hiroki Ito, you've got Max Kilman, Castello Junior Lucaba from Lyon, Aymeric Laporte from Manchester City, Piero Hincapia from Leverkusen, and Pau Torres. And I thought, well, how do I feel if those 2 left-footed names are any of those? For me personally, like Lucaba, I'll start with him. I think he's a special talent, I really do. And we know for sure that Tottenham scouts went to look at him in April, I think, and May. The game I think they definitely went to see him on, he got sent off for a double yellow and he scored a goal. But he had a very commanding performance. And I think he's going to be a really, really top level player in a few years' time. But he is very young, and my concerns about him are not around his abilities necessarily, but it's around whether or not, if he was to come in as the first choice left-sided centre-back, does he have the experience to command that position all the time? And bearing in mind we've spoken about the need for someone to be a bit more level-headed, who can calm and reassure Christian Romero a bit more. I think we need a leader in that position, and I don't think Lucaba's earned that kind of role yet. So I really like him, And if Tottenham had a lot of money to spend, I'd be very, very happy if we were to sign the statement signing and then have him coming in behind as a rotation. Not sure how I'd feel if he was the first choice just yet. But that's not dismissing his talents. He's a very, very good player. Then you look at Max Kilman. For me, he's solid at everything. He's a good player. He's competent. Is he better than anything we have? Yes. Is he great at anything? Not particularly, in my opinion. He's good in the air, for sure. Bit of a no-nonsense centre-back. Don't think he really has wowed me whenever I've seen him, to the point where I'd be super excited. I'd be pretty underwhelmed if he was the guy coming in. Again, happy for him to be in the rotation, but I think his cost would be prohibitive for him to come in and not be a starter. And I don't think that he is of the level. Like, does he get into any of the teams that we're competing with? Does he get into Newcastle, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, City? The answer is no. And so we're in that kind of weird range where we're trying to find someone better than what we have. We probably can't get players that are at the very highest level, but there is a Goldilocks zone in between, and I don't think Max Kilman is in it for me. So I'd rather it not be him. But that to say, if he was to come in, I'd still get behind it and think that we've improved. You know, we have improved on what we have. Who's next? Aymeric Laporte. No brainer for me. He ticks every box. He's done it for Manchester City. He's played the system. He's experienced. He's a likeable guy. He's a leader, an absolute professional, and would do everything we need, not just on the ball, off the ball, and also with regards, being that calming presence for Christian Romero. I think with him coming in, you could use the phrase, the rising tide lifts all boats. I love him. The concerns for me about going after that particular transfer is whether or not it's realistic. Does the player want to come to Tottenham? Find out. Would Manchester City deal with us? I'd be surprised. You know how much Pep Guardiola hates Daniel Levy. So would they want to help Tottenham out? Would they want to deal with Tottenham? Would they deliberately up the asking price to a ridiculous level, just like Tottenham apparently did with Harry Kane to them? Possibly. Will he end up going somewhere else? In all likelihood. So I'm not going to set my hopes or dreams on him, I'll set my dreams on him, but my realistic eyes are probably pointing elsewhere. But he would be the perfect centre-back to play alongside Romero. What about Piero Hincapié and Pau Torres? I'll start with Pau Torres. Me personally, if you look at his stats and you look at the seeing eye test on him, he is a very good centre-back. He really is. He runs with the ball with absolute aplomb. He's a special talent with the ball at his feet. Dribbling and progressing. He's a good passer with the ball. He's very tall. He's good in the air. He's young. I don't think he wants to come to Tottenham. I remember 2 seasons ago. Was it 2 summers ago? Yeah, 2 summers ago. He turned us down saying he wouldn't come to a team that wasn't in the Champions League. And then last summer, allegedly, he turned us down in preference of going to Manchester United, despite us being in the Champions League and United being in the Europa League. It didn't end up happening. He ended up not moving because Manchester United went to Lisandro Martinez's direction instead. But I get the impression that he thinks he's bigger than Tottenham. And whilst I think he's a very talented centre-back, I don't want a player to come in who feels like he's bigger than the club. So for me, unless he has a change of heart and thinks that he'd like a project, then on that basis, I'd be okay with it. And look, if he signs for Tottenham, then I'm okay with it because obviously he's got on board it. But do I think right now that we should be, setting our eyes on this guy? I don't think he would. I think he costs a lot of money as well. And again, I'm going to say the same thing about him that I'll say about Hincapié, is the way that they set up for their relative teams, the style that they play, and the players they have around them affords them to not necessarily have to rely so much on their defensive side of their game. They're free to be the creator-in-chief from the back, to move forward, to progress the ball. It's because in no small part of the quality they have around them and the way their team is structured. When you play with a back four and a high line, you don't have that option. Maybe Manchester City do, because they've got world-class players twice over in every position on the park, and they have 70% possession and they dominate, and it's easy. We're going to be a team that's trying to emulate that without world-class players in every position. And so there's going to be very, very, very many times when we lose the ball in transition, where our ability to control the ball, the loose balls are going to happen often. The transitions, the turnovers, and the counter-attacks are going to be frequent. And so you're going to need centre-backs who have the ability to recover, to get back, to make those last-ditch sliding efforts, to be absolutely dominant in the air, positionally aware, and the concentration of an absolute chess master. And I'm not sure I've seen enough of Pau Torres having to do that to think with confidence that he will be able to do it. He probably will. He's a very, very good player, but I'm not certain of it. And so I don't know. For those reasons, he's probably not at the highest level. When I'm thinking about that list of 5, and when Romano says there's two players with left foots that Tottenham are thinking about, I'm not sure I want him to be necessarily one of those two. The other guy, Piero Hincapié, I absolutely do. I really, really hope that Tottenham are looking at this guy. I think he's brilliant. I think he's so young. The only concern I have about him, I'll be honest, in the World Cup, I saw him getting bodied a little bit. I wasn't sure if he was particularly strong. I remember against one of the African teams, I forget which one it was off the top of my head, but he got bullied all day in that particular match. And he looked like a boy versus men. The player, and I forget the player that was doing it, but that guy was an absolute beast. But apart from that, every time I've seen him, he's been calm and a very reassuring presence. I also think, as I mentioned before, that need to have someone next to Romero that's going to calm him down. Laporte can do that. I think Hincapié can do it as well. I really do. He's brilliant coming out with the ball. He's brilliant with crossing. When he's given the option at Leverkusen to get forward, he runs down into like left wing back kind of channels and crosses the ball in. He's got an amazing cross on him. He's brilliant in the air. His interceptions and tackles and blocks and the things you need from him as a centre back are also right up there. What I would say about him, again, the only other concern apart from his strength is the way that Leverkusen set up. They play with a back three most of the time, and again, he is afforded the option and almost the obligation to be that guy who takes the ball out and becomes the creator from the back. But look who he's got next to him. He's got Jonathan Tah next to him, who's an absolute monster. He's got Edmund Tapsoba next to him, who's an absolute monster. On the other side, he's got Frimpong at right wing back, who is, devastating, and he's going to go on to be one of the best right wing backs in the world if he isn't already. And so there's a lot of attention that's thrown towards that side from the defenders, which offers more space for Hincapié to get forward. So you have to bear all these things in mind when you're coming to your conclusion. But of all of the players that are in that kind of left-footed, left-sided list that Romano may be linking us with, or saying that Tottenham are thinking about 2 others, me personally, I hope that we are thinking going to make an effort to try and sign Laporte or Hincapié. That for me would be like the statement signing that I'd get really excited about. Then I will tolerate Lenglet behind, even though I really do hope it's Hiroki Ito, because I think that I've said before, value for money, ceiling, talent, and the capabilities and competencies of what you need. For me, Ito has it more than Lenglet does. But if we're spending 5 on Lenglet, and that means we can spend 50 on a left-sided centre-back or 40, then see if we can go and get Hincapié, see if we can go and get Laporte. If we're looking at left-footers. If the Postecoglou doesn't mind having a right-footed left-sided centre-back, then obviously I still would rather have someone like Edmund Tapsoba. Go and speak to Bayer Leverkusen and say, which one of your centre-backs are you prepared to let go? Because they've got such a wonderful array of talent in the back. And I think we'd be blessed with any of a couple of them. So that's my thoughts on this one, guys. I just wanted to get that off my chest. If it's true that Romano's saying that there's 2 other left-footed defensive options that Tottenham are looking at, I wanted to kind of give you my thoughts on who my preferred choices would be. I'll be okay, but underwhelmed with Max Kilman. Luke Cable is an exciting guy, but I'm worried about his inexperience a little bit for the main role. And that's about it. Let me know your thoughts, guys. Like, subscribe, and of course, always comment. And I'll see you hopefully this afternoon or this evening for a live stream. If not, tomorrow. Like, subscribe, and comment, guys. Bye-bye.